Peace and love. Ken Aguinobi here. So today I wanted to talk about dominating your field. Dominating your field and being the best at what you do, no matter what that thing is very important. It's very crucial, very critical to making yourself stand out. It's very important that you sharpen your skills and master it. Whatever it is that you find yourself doing, whatever your hands find to do, be it a gift or just a skill that you've honed in on, something that maybe it may have started out as a hobby that you started off, that piqued your interest as a child, and then you realized along the way that you were able to make some money from it. Pay a couple bills here, phone bills, light bills, whatever. And then you get into the real world and realize that, maybe you come to realize, that you need some additional funds, right? You need to supplement your income. You may need a part-time job, something. And then that light bulb clicks on and you remember, wait a minute, I do have this one skill, this thing that started off as a hobby that I was interested in and I've always been good at, and people have reached out to me and paid me for my services here and there, right? Well, what do? You scale it. But now scaling it at a professional level may require, taking a few additional steps, maybe getting some courses or, a license, not in every case, but depending on what it is, obviously if it's music or piano lessons or, carpentry or something like that, right? Not everything requires a license, but to be the best, right, at what you do, to separate yourself and completely eradicate the competition, right? It's important that when you're getting paid for a job, a service, that you deliver it at the utmost level. Why? Not only because it guarantees you repeat customers, but because your reputation is on the line, your name is on the line, and you never want to be someone who gets complacent and who's comfortable with delivering, subpar products or service, right? Just because to you it may have started off as a hobby, and then as your responsibilities pile up, you realize that you do need that additional income, and this is something that you can fall back on. Well, guess what? To you, that might be easy money because it's a skill that you've somewhat mastered, but to other people, to your clientele and your customers, it's still business. So you can't be sloppy with the job. You can't do a sloppy job, right? You have to give it your all, because bad news travels fast. And believe it or not, word of mouth is still the most important form of promotion, right? It's easy for people to give you a referral based off of a job that you did, right? Because people know people. People have people at their homes all the time. Let's say you're a carpenter or a guy who fixes garages, for instance, and you fix somebody's garage or you build them a patio or something like that, and the neighbors come by, hey, who built that for you, right? And those things, could run, they could be pricey. Who built that for you? Well, it's this guy, such and such, and what's his price, and guess what? By seeing it and referring, that referral that you get is much more than any ads that you can run on Facebook or, you know, any marketing or advertising platform, right? They might have relatives and, you know, uncles and aunts and cousins within or co-workers within a certain distance who might want the same service. Because believe it or not, a lot of people are very skeptical about, and rightfully so, about paying top dollar for getting scammed, put it that way. So paying top dollar for subpar products, and then having to going back and forth and having to deal with what comes with it, right? So mastering your skill, you know, operating with integrity and delivering what it is that you say you will deliver. Very important to set yourself apart. You know, operate with a certain level of uniformity. You know, don't just be haphazard about your appearance and how you show up at these jobs. You know, actually treat it, be professional about it. You know, whether it's getting a car magnet or a small van. And, you know, as you start to get more money and more visibility, maybe get a van or a box truck, whatever the business calls for, right? Get a uniform, a small shirt, something that says that you're a business person, right? Something that showcases your your level of professionalism. You know, you want that. Set yourself apart. Be the absolute best. Go the extra mile, right? If there's an issue with the service, don't argue with the customer back and forth. Now, you know, some customers can be rude and, you know, obnoxious and what have you, unpleasant. But do your very best to mitigate the issue. Sometimes it will mean that you take a loss, that you take a small hit financially, right? But it makes up for it. And, you know, above all, God is watching and he will reward you for doing good business. You know, integrity, operating your business and delivering your service with integrity, being trustworthy. It'll take you a very long way. Hone in on your skill, put in the extra time, burn that midnight oil, you know, put in the extra time to be the best at what you do. Set yourself apart, and that will take you a long way, and you might build something that you can inevitably, very highly possibly, even pass down to your children and your children's children, and build something that stays in the family and creates, you know, financial freedom and possibly even generational wealth, depending on how much you scale it. So that's what I had on my mind, just to keep it short and simple. And if this video has created or given you value, be sure to pass it on, share it with some friends. Until next time, peace and love. Salute.